Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is part 4 of our series about the most evil spirits caught on camera. This one comes from a Reddit user. I was 23 years old and living in a house in New England with 4 other people. We were all pretty normal, middle-class, college-age kids. There was me, my girlfriend at the time, 2 guys, and 1 girl. All of us had jobs outside of school, and we had all known each other since high school. The house itself was huge, maybe 12,000 square feet, but it came with only 3 bedrooms. My girlfriend and I ended up sharing a bedroom with her younger sister, who was 17 at the time and visiting from college for the summer. The layout of the house is important, so I'll describe it now. When you walked in the front door, you would go up a short flight of stairs into a foyer. To the right was the living room, and straight ahead was the dining room, which led into the kitchen. To the left of the foyer was the first bedroom, and down the hall were 2 more bedrooms. The bathroom was connected to the second bedroom, and the third bedroom had its own bathroom attached to it. Finally, downstairs off the kitchen was the basement and the back door, which led to the deck and the backyard. In the days leading up to the incident, some weird stuff happened. Nothing really that stood out, except for the following. Every night, without fail, there was some sort of loud bang coming from the basement around 3 a.m. It sounded like someone dropping something heavy, then running up the basement stairs, and then upstairs in the same direction. But the noise never came from the stairs themselves. Sometimes the sound would come from above the stairs where they meet the floor, and sometimes it would come from below the stairs. As if whatever was making the noise was moving along the stairs themselves. Another thing was that my girlfriend started having these nightmares every night. In her dreams, she would be lying in bed in our bedroom and feel this overwhelming sense of dread and fear. She would feel the bed shaking, but when she would turn over to look for whatever was causing it, she would see nothing. Then she would hear what sounded like screams in the next room, but when she would get out of bed to investigate, everything would be fine. She never told me these dreams were happening, because I had been hearing the exact same things. I assumed they were just stress dreams from school and work. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and heard the sound of footsteps above the stairs, followed by heavy banging, then silence. I assumed that it was my dog, so I called him in a normal voice, and he responded by barking from his spot at the foot of the bed. That's when I noticed he wasn't in his usual spot. He was curled up, sleeping beside me. I got up to investigate, but when I turned on the light, everything was normal. I went back to bed, but I couldn't fall back asleep because of the pounding in my head from the bang. At this point, I didn't think much of it. So the next day, when I told my roommates about the bang, they just laughed and said, "Oh yeah, that old house just does that." They also said that they had been hearing it too, and chalked it up to imagination. Then my girlfriend came home from school, and when I told her about the bang and how I couldn't sleep, she just said, "Oh, that old house just does that." She also said that she had been hearing it too and chalked it up to imagination. It was around this time that my girlfriend's little sister came to visit for the summer. She shared a room with us, and we'll call her Jamie. One night, I woke up in the middle of the night and felt a cold breeze on my face. I assumed that my window was open, so I turned over to look at my girlfriend to ask if she opened my window, but she was fast asleep. Then I heard the exact same bang from the basement that I heard the night before. Immediately after, I felt the bed shake violently, and I saw Jamie sitting up in bed, screaming. Startled, I asked her what was wrong, and she replied, "I don't know, but I think I just saw something horrible." Still scared, I got out of bed to check the rest of the room. Everything seemed to be in order, and Jamie quickly fell back asleep. I tried to go back to bed, but I couldn't sleep, so I just lay there thinking about the weird things that had been happening lately. Not long after, my girlfriend woke up, and I told her about the bang and how I couldn't sleep. And she just said, "Oh, that old house just does that." She also said that she had been hearing it too and chalked it up to imagination. At this point, I was getting frustrated with my girlfriends and her sister for not taking anything seriously. I knew something was going on, but I couldn't prove it. As the weeks passed, things began to escalate. The nightly bangs continued, and my girlfriend and I stopped trying to ignore them. Now, every night at exactly 3 a.m., we would hear the sound of heavy footsteps above the stairs, followed by a loud bang, and then silence. Nobody ever investigated the noise though, and no one else took the problem seriously, so they never wanted to try. My girlfriend began experiencing sleep paralysis every night. Usually, it would happen when she was trying to fall asleep and she would find herself unable to move or speak. But she could clearly see what appeared to be the shadow figure of a man standing over her. Some nights, she would feel the pressure of something heavy on top of the blankets around her, but she never actually saw anything during these episodes. She always found herself suddenly able to move again once the episodes ended. My girlfriend was understandably terrified and wanted to move into my room, but that wouldn't have solved anything, because I was also beginning to experience the same thing. After my girlfriend and I had made love, I would lay down in bed and stare at the ceiling for a while, trying to fall asleep. After a while, I would begin to experience sleep paralysis. During these episodes, I would find myself unable to move or speak, and I could clearly see the shadow figure of a man standing at the foot of the bed. Every night, the shadow man would walk slowly toward me, and I would panic, trying to make noise and move, but I couldn't. Eventually, he would reach the end of the bed and disappear. The episodes were getting worse, and I knew that something was very wrong. On one particular night, I remember experiencing sleep paralysis. I could see the shadow figure of the man approaching, but I tried to fight it. I tried to scream and make noise, but I couldn't. Then I saw the man reach for my throat. Gasping for air, I looked at my girlfriend and asked her if she choked me in my sleep, but she just stared back at me blankly and mouthed, "What are you talking about?" Confused, I shook my head and thought that maybe I just dreamed it. After that, I started keeping a journal by my bed to write down everything that happened. For the next few weeks, my entries consist of dates and descriptions of the ongoing hauntings, including the sleep paralysis and the nightly banging. But then, the entries get worse. One morning, I wrote, "Jamie is acting strange and talks to herself a lot. She also has been acting out and seems depressed. I don't know what to do." A week later, I wrote, "Something happened last night. I can't remember what, but I woke up with bruises on my body and blood all over my sheets." Jamie says she has no memory of what happened last night either. A few weeks after that, I wrote, "Last night, I woke up during a sleep paralysis episode. But this time, I could remember what I saw. I saw Jamie standing at the end of my bed, with her eyes black and soulless. She opened her mouth wide and lunged at me. I don't want to stay here anymore." The next day, I packed up my things and moved into the house across the street from my friend. A few days later, I got a phone call from my ex-girlfriend. She told me that Jamie had gone missing and hadn't been seen since. She also told me that the police searched the house and found blood in my room and a stain on the floorboards in the basement that they could unidentify. The police never found Jamie, and my ex-girlfriend eventually moved out of the house, and I lost contact with her. I still think about what happened to Jamie sometimes, but I'm glad that I'm not the only one who experiences those sleep paralysis episodes anymore. Thanks for watching. If you like scary stories, stay tuned for more. And as always, thanks for watching.